All right, guys, what's going on? My name is East. I'm here. I'm joined by one of Shadowverse's finest. Better looking than me, probably less sleep deprived, and one of the top commentators coming out of Australia. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. I'm joined, of course, by Baz himself, just ahead of the SEAO SVO that's coming up in March in what, a day? 2 days?
Yeah, like literally a day, like yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm doing a couple of player interviews, and I've kind of done a lot of different how do I want to say? I've done a lot of different interviews based on different perspective. People supporting the community for teams, the new players, some of the veteran players, and so one of the guys who's doing a lot of work to come up in commentary is this guy here, and I'd love to get your thoughts on just Shadowverse in general, the things that you're thinking about, the things that you're concerned about, and kind of the community as a whole. So then, I don't want to take up any more time. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Baz.
Yeah, so I'm Baz, obviously. I'm a caster based from Australia and obviously also Oceania as well. I've been casting for about 3 years now, with other titles like League of Legends and Rocket League. And I just jumped onto the Shadowverse, like commentating an esports bandwagon. I think it was late last year, I want to say. I've covered a couple events so far. I think I'm doing pretty well with it so far. A lot of people seem to think so anyway.
No, I'm a
Um,
fan, that's for sure.
yeah, thank you, thank you. But yeah, no, it's been a really cool experience, and it's like especially compared to some of the more serious titles like League and Rocket League, I really enjoy Shadowverse a lot more, where it feels more like inviting. The community feels like it's more inviting as well, and yeah, I've just had a blast doing it. So
Awesome. So you said you kind of started with League of Legends and then
yeah,
Rocket League. Rocket League is a fun as hell game, by the way. But
it was really good. Yeah.
but you know what really drew you into Shadowverse?
So I started Shadowverse. I want to say when it came out on PC, but now honestly I can't remember because I looked it up yesterday and I was like, hang on, I don't remember this expansion coming out then. I know it was around Darkness Evolved time. It was somewhere around
Okay.
then because I think it was around the Steam release, maybe in like the West PC release, something like that. But I only played it very, very casually. I played like previous card games before, like Yu-Gi-Oh and Bakugan and Chaotic and a lot of these other weird ones as well. But yeah, no, I only really discovered, I guess, the esports competitive side of it like mid
Hmm.
last year,
Oh
and it
wow.
wasn't even something that's like I think it's maybe because I didn't actively look for it, but I also never saw anything for it at the same time because obviously it's not like a huge title like League or like Rocket League or
That's
even
true.
competitors like Hearthstone or something like that.
Mm.
But when I saw it, I was like, oh crap, I gotta get involved in this like right now. I'm missing out like 2 years, 3 years worth of like awesome content and stuff. So yeah, so I jumped in around then, and yeah, basically I started watching like you and Igni really with our region stuff, the SEAO stuff.
Oh
I think it was
nice.
around like when Lion Crystal I think was just at its end.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
that's where we finished. But yeah, so I started with that and basically just went from there. I actually got messaged and contacted by Chusan as well. Helped
Susan.
set up some yeah, everyone's favorite Chusan. I think it was yeah, towards the end of last year because I think I made some throwaway comment during one of the SVOs saying about dropping out, saying, "Oh, I've got to prepare. I've got this league event coming up, so I can't
Mm.
finish it off." And he was like really supportive in that. And then he just messaged me not too long after that saying, "Oh, I know like some couple guys in OCE. I don't know if anyone in the community might know King of Engineers, who helps out with the Shadowverse Oceania stuff."
Okay.
And yeah, so we basically went from there and said, "Oh, like this guy wants to build up the oceanic scene a bit more." Because obviously a lot of our region, there's a lot of Southeast Asian players. There's only like a couple big oceanic players, like Beamer, for example.
Mm.
Um, so I thought, oh, well, that's like a perfect opportunity for us to get that building up in that, especially with like a big background in community esports and high school esports stuff as well. I wanted to try and transfer the skills there and see where I could help out and be involved. And yeah, basically went from there, and here we are today. Covered quite a few Mana Surge Cups now recently as well, especially another one coming on Sunday. So I'm
That's
very happy about
true.
that. Very humbled to do that as well. And like a couple of own events and that. But yeah, so casual, straight into competitive, and yeah.
Dang, that's. Oh, you hold. You said you guys were doing high school esports events?
Yeah, high school esports. Yeah, in Australia and New Zealand, not for Shadowverse, for League of Legends and Rocket League.
Uh huh.
We've been building up. I think I think it was 2017. Might have been when we first started doing it because I know there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff happening in America where they're starting to build up like university leagues and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
and we have something similar here. But yeah, Oceania it's kind of counted as like a wild card region, not one of the top regions,
Hmm.
and it's trying to like build up, I guess, the player base and build up like the competition and that and get them started
Dang.
early. And esports is normal sports still, right? It's still competitive. It's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
team based and all that as well. No matter what a bunch of older people want to say about it, I guess. But yeah, like, it's such an important thing, and being a part of that and seeing a lot of kids like jumping on board. Like I listened to talk about Shadowverse, but even
Mm.
Shadowverse as well. Like being able to jump on
Mm.
board and connect with their community, make new friends out of it, gain life skills. It's super important and really cool. So yeah,
I want to pivot a bit more to the Shadowverse community. I know we've talked
yep.
a bit about Rocket and League as well. But for Shadowverse, who are the players for you? It could be in SEAO, it could be in the West, it could be in Japan, Korea, Taiwan. Our reigning champion is from Taiwan. But who are your players to watch out for this year in Shadowverse?
So I actually spent a bit of time for this question looking some stuff up for it because I wanted to be like, okay, who do I actually want to talk about? And like I could talk about like a lot of I'll say the key players or the big names that we've seen quite a bit of, but I wanted to give a little bit of spotlight on some of like the community players who have been doing really well in the community stuff
Yeah,
and are starting to pick up in the SVOs as well. Because a lot of those guys don't really get much of the spotlight really either,
that's
even
true.
with the key players as well. So I want to talk about them a little bit. First, I've got to deal with my bias, okay? Beamer, obviously, we got to get that
Okay,
out the
okay.
way, okay? Australian player, everyone knows. He took out the January Cup. I mean, he's been doing really well, obviously. He's been at the top of his game for like 2 years now. So
Yeah, he
this
is
year, he
a
should be like,
force.
let's go.
I
So,
mean, yeah, he won the first January Cup, right? So,
yeah, yeah.
I
As
mean,
the challenge master himself. So, because apparently we have to call him that now permanently for the rest of the year or something along those lines. But yeah, the two community guys I want to cover, they are from the West region, which was completely unintentional as well.
understand,
Of course,
understand.
to talk about SEO stuff. Um, the first one actually was brought up in yesterday's interview, actually, KSL VD,
Yeah.
that we briefly talked about. He is popping off in a lot of community stuff recently, and he just missed out as well recently, getting into top 8 for the West March Cup as well. Um, Again, a little bit of bias. He did take out the first Oceania tournament that we had. But
Oh.
I did some more background research on him as well, and like he's been placing very high in the Mana Surge Cups. He took out your favorite MS. It was an ED 1990061. Because that's how we say it, Ignis. All right, that's how we say it. Um, and yeah, he took out the Verdant Conflict Volume 6 Cup they had. And in the
Wow.
SVO as well, like I said, in the March Cup, he got to top 16. He literally just missed out getting to top 8 and getting to day 2. So like
Holy
he's like
cow.
month after month, he's getting better and better and better and better.
Do you know
Which
when
is
he started?
surprising. Uh, from what I can see, it was sometime before Verdant Conflict. I want to say I don't know the exact date or anything like that. Because I didn't look too far back as well, because I wanted to get more like relevant info now,
Understand.
just to see what was happening. He was with Team Omnibus as
Yeah.
well, but he's it looks like he's a free agent. Looks like it might have been like literally like a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that. They just I don't know how they parted ways or something. So he's a free agent now. So if any teams are looking,
Yeah, I
you know,
mean,
for fresh talent, they might look towards KSL. But yeah,
wow.
he's standing out very well. I know he's a very confident Dragon player as well, and with Valdane basically on top at the moment.
And
So
in this meta, yeah, it's a
uh,
good place to be.
very interesting to be. So, and my other player I wanted to talk about as well is Ali Maza. Not with any team. Um, he hasn't like won any major cups or anything. He comes from
Mhm.
Italy. I
Ooh.
believe so. That's what Battlefight tells me anyway. But he's been placing very, very well in some of the most recent cups as well. Probably his biggest one so far would have been the Volume 2 of the Mana Surge Ultimate Coliseum Cup. We actually took out Den from Team Revelation
Oh, wow.
to make it to top 4. And Den, obviously, one of the standout players from the European region last year, making it all the way to top 4 Contenders Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a huge deal. And when we saw that on the stream, we were like, wait, who?
Huh?
Ali Mazza, who's this guy? It's like, oh yeah, he just started playing like today, basically. It's like, we don't actually know that, obviously, but like in terms of competitive, that's what it might be like.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's been doing pretty decent so far. I say he's been getting like 4-3, 3-4 for wins and losses for some of the recent SVO Cups. So decent, I'd say.
Yeah.
They're not bad, but not good. But the fact that he keeps coming back and he's done really well again that match against Den, and there was other guys in there as well he took out to even get there in the first place. He's like still got a little bit more work to do before KSL, but definitely like a young player that's like keep your eyes out on him because he might do some big things later on.
One of those guys who's like they're just right under like that top echelon. They're
Yeah,
trying to get there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're slowly building their way up there, but I can definitely see him if he keeps at it. We should see him hopefully soon getting towards like top 16 or even top 8 for the SVOs.
I guess I gotta keep my eyes open in the West as well. Then you said that Almazda was from Italy. Where is
Yeah.
KSLVD from? Do you know?
No idea.
All right.
I didn't get that part down. I just got down yeah, the team and stuff he was from. But
He's
I believe he's from the West as well because he's been playing in the West Cups.
hmm,
So I'm just going to assume that he's somewhere in the West
the
team. So
moon.
yeah, he's from the moon.
So I know we talked a little bit about the players, but to my understanding, you're also going to be competing this weekend in the SVO
Yep.
for
Yep.
SEAO Region, of course. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what kind of classes and decks do you favor? Either A, overall, or B, just in this meta entirely.
Well, some people from the community might know me as the Blood One Trick. That doesn't know how to play Blood properly still after like 3 years. Because I was just like, yeah, aggro Blood, yeah, that's fine for like 2 years, isn't it? I'll just keep playing that. That's fine. But yeah, no, Bloodcraft is definitely the class I like to play. It's a bit of a stupid reason, but I like to try and play decks or like in games, just play characters or use vehicles or guns or whatever
Mm.
that a lot of people don't tend to use, and just
The
to see like
underdog.
why don't they use it? Can we make it better? Whatever, whatever. And Blood kind of stood out to me as like one of these classes where when it's strong, it's broken and gets nerfed in a week. See you later, Stocktress Vampire.
Yeah, right.
But most of the time, it's kind of just like not really in the tier list or bottom of the tier list. And like it might do well against, say, for example, aggro was really good against Kuon,
Mm-hmm.
but against everything else, not so much. So, and it's fun to play as well because it's like I think as well when you come to playing decks and stuff, you need to play what's fun.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be like smashing out meta stuff and then I'm not even having fun enjoying this. It just feels like a chore to do. And I think that's very important as well to be in the right mindset as well for these types of competitive events and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So definitely Blood. I've actually been playing a little bit of Hades recently as well.
Yes! Hades Shadows, my stuff.
May or may not have taken one or two cards out of your deck that you were using on stream the other day. Some of the Natural stuff. I'm not going to show anything. Obviously, I made it myself. Yeah, it's just again, it's another one of those decks where it's like it can be good, but no one's playing it. So why don't I play it instead? So I've got a few fun decks to do, but yeah, I like to play in the cups. Really just help connect with the community and stuff because obviously as a caster, I'm not aiming to be the top 8, but I mean if I get there, sure, like I'm not going to complain about it, right? So, but yeah, definitely have fun and just like have fun with some of the higher players and stuff like that. So,
Man, I think that people who like Bloodcraft are a little crazy. A little
yeah.
crazy. Those are the people who will wait, who like they gamble with their lifeblood. Like,
Yeah. I mean, our main deck is literally just self-damage, and hopefully we get to turn 9 to play Behemoth before we get Valdained or aggroed or just destroyed by Kawan or whatever. So, almost had a Carol. Oh, nice. My health's just gone entirely.
evaporates.
So, and we can't get it back at all. We're already losing health. We don't need it permanently gone. But yeah.
But so you're playing this year. You said if you get
Yeah.
top 8, that's great. But you're aiming to be
Yep.
a commentator to do casting work.
Yeah.
So if you had to sum up your goals for this year, what would you say they are?
Well, I'm going to start with a big one. It might be a bit obvious. Hopefully casting an SVO at some point.
All right.
Or a Rage League or something like that. I was also thinking like it would be really cool if we could maybe have like English coverage of like something like the Korean leagues or the Chinese leagues or any some of the other big leagues as well. Because like we have Rage, obviously we have Rage now. But a lot of these other big pro leagues, like we get to World Grand Prix, and some of the guys who like religiously follow, like some of the top players and some of the big teams might know who these guys are. But if you're just a viewer and you're just coming into the English stream and here's this big player, he's from Korea, it's like okay, but who?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
because like we don't have any coverage for any of the other leagues, and even the Rage League, it's only I guess really I'd say over the past few months, even the end of last year, it's starting to pick up. I think a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like that would be really really cool to do as well. But yeah, aiming to somehow I guess break into the fold, I guess, and try and join you guys on the cast at some point, hopefully.
I would love to have you there on the couch. It's a very fancy couch. We just wind them up as well, so we have room for a third person. Wink, wink. Side games. Wink, wink. But at the same time, I would love the idea of being able to just pull the curtain back on some of these regions that we don't know about. For example, our last year's grand champion of the WGP, Sasamumu, was from Taiwan, but I'd never seen him or heard of him until that moment.
Yeah, and then when you see him roll up and they just destroy or obliterate the competition, it's like we've set up these narratives for like what, a year, 2 years. Oh, look at these guys coming out of the West. Look at these guys coming out of like the SEAO region. They're really, really good. We got a chance this year, and not Korea stomped us, not China stomped us, not
Obliterated.
Taiwan stomped us. Like it's not even a competition. It's like okay, what are we missing then? What are they doing that's different to what we're doing? So.
Hmm.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if we could even like it doesn't even have to be like the full on cast, even just like breakdowns on some of the
Highlights.
players or yeah, highlights or like montages of some kind or just some small thing, just so some players and some viewers as well can, start to connect a bit more with some of these other players.
To kind of wrap up, do you have any advice for new people getting into the scene, whether A, as a player, be supporting a team, or in your case, trying to do commentary and cast?
Yeah, so I think something we talked about quite a bit here,
Mm.
community, right? And connecting with community and learning about players and all that sort of thing. There's so many Discord servers. There's so many you can kind of join
I
and find
hate
connect with players.
Discord. Oh, it's back in the old days when people used to have message boards. Maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe I sound like a boomer right now, but when people had message boards, everything was in one place.
Mm.
Now it's
And
like,
now I'm on like 10,000 servers we're going to be a part of. And it's like trying to keep track of all of them. I mean, this is a fault of my end, I guess, but like I keep track of like maybe four
yeah,
of like the
yeah.
10 that I'm in, I think. And there's probably a few others I'm not a part of still. But yeah, but even still, I mean, if you want to delve into that sort of thing, it's a good place to go. I mean, there's always Reddit as well. I mean,
If you're a
people have
sword
their
main,
opinions on Reddit, I guess, but
if
yeah.
you're a sword main.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of resources to get involved and jump in, and obviously there's SVO, right? You want to watch a lot of the top eight, see how they play, compare it to like what you're doing. Like, what decks are you using? How are they playing? Do you play similarly? Do you think you could learn a lot from playing with some of the pro players? And listen to the casters as well. Super important as well. Outside
Absolutely.
of the jokes and all the fun and everything, like Eastern Igni and of course the guys from the West and whatnot. Like obviously you guys break everything down and explain it to everyone so you can understand exactly what's going on. And even those little like key bits, right, can always
Mm.
help out. And obviously you've got community tournaments. Always go to those, play part of those. A lot of the top players end up being there. It's the best chance to practice for the SVOs as well if you want to try out decks or try out strats or whatever else.
Well, if I
And
can,
yeah,
if I can
really
put a
just community, community, community.
if I can just put a quick plug in. Also, folks,
Yeah,
don't forget SVO weekend is happening next weekend. So this weekend is, of
yeah,
course, the SVO,
yeah.
but the weekend right after that, if you're interested in practicing and playing in a community-driven event, that's also going to be happening. So again, the 28th and the 28th, I believe. So
I think that's hosted by SVO this
yep.
month, isn't it? Because it was West last month as well. So I mean, that's perfect for our region, right? If you guys want to jump into that.
Exactly.
So
Though anybody was it? It's hosted in our region, but
yeah, yeah, it's open to
anybody,
everyone.
yeah, anyone from anywhere can join. So if you're what again, KSLVD from the moon, no problem. Like time zones don't
Just
mean a
take a
thing
trip,
here.
man. Just fly them down. We'll get you right on board. But yeah, no, and for casting, and that's kind of like another beast in itself, right? Like, cause like it's building up like confidence for example, being on camera, being on mic, and all that sort of thing, and learning and knowing what you want to talk about and being entertaining. There's so many things, I guess, to keep track of.
Yeah.
It's literally just like the best thing to do is literally just to start though. Because if you sit around thinking about it for too long, or overthinking it, I should say, for too long, or worrying about what so and so is saying on Twitch or so and so is saying on Twitter about your bad cast or your shit cast or whatever, to use a bit of French there. Um, that's the thing. Like you just gotta keep practicing, practice, practice, practice. Find people again that also want to do it. Again, back to community stuff because it's so important.
Yes.
But yeah, and ask for advice from fellow casters, from big time casters as well. I know that helped me out a lot, not for Shadowverse, but for League of Legends.
Mm.
When I was starting up, I'd talk to like some of our region's top casters. I'm like, hey man, I've done this event. Like I've seen some things I can improve on. Is there anything else you think I can improve on as well? And all of these guys, they will take time out of their day to go over what you've done and help you point in the right direction. Because
Mm.
obviously they want to help build up the talent base and the caster base as well as the player base. Because
Yeah.
you can have 1,000 players, but if you have no commentators, no one to stream it, or anything, then no one's going to care about it, right?
Yeah.
So
It's no presenter. Yeah.
having that talent there is super important. And I guess another thing as well, and another example that esports isn't just about the players. You don't have to be a top player to be a part of esports. If you want to be a part of esports, there's so many different avenues and opportunities you can take to get there. So
100% agree. 100% agree. Well, again, I guess before we get out of here, man, do you have any shout outs you want to give anybody out there watching at home or
this is
competing
the
this
part I
weekend?
was dreading. I was like, who am I going to shout out? this might be a bit of a cop out, but like I just want to say the community as a whole. Like I said when I first started, like joining the Shadowverse, I guess competitive side and joining the commentators as well. There was already like a bunch of guys from Mana Surge, from Team Revelations, with two of the big teams.
Hmm.
Some of the guys like Mint Candy and Glow and Bjorn and some of those guys
Oh, they're
there.
awesome.
Who helped me out like basically straight away. Chusan is why everyone's lovable Chusan as well.
The
And
best.
East, your boy East here as well, helped me out a little bit as well. So um and yeah, just I guess the only other thing to say, just everyone's super easy to get along with and super easy to get a hold of if you want to learn and get better at the game or anything like that. So yeah.
You just gotta find the Discord server.
Yeah. Gonna get the magnifying glass out, start looking. When I start? When do I start? Shadowverse newbies, the Reddit server, the SVO server, I don't know where to go. So just stick to Twitter.
I guess. But all right, guys. Thanks very much again. Good luck this weekend. I'll be watching you. I'll be waiting to see you top
I'll
eight.
get to top 8 with Blood Boys. We'll get it. Don't worry, we'll get there. And if not, I'll probably be in the Twitch chat somewhere anyway. So
Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing you there as well, man. Take care.
very much. And best of luck with your casting as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Take care, folks.